guys, we're here in Boston this morning. Andre and I are headed out on another adapted adventure. We have a long layover here, and we're actually headed to Milan later today. But right now we're going to go check out Faneuil Hall in Boston and spend a little time there and try to stay warm, and then head back to the airport a little later. So after getting on the ground in Boston, we first had to take a shuttle bus over to the metro station. The great thing about the shuttle buses and a lot of the transportation here in the US is that many, if not all of them, have some sort of accessible lift or ramp, which makes using them way easier.
So we figured we could explore the market for a little bit since our layover is about 9 hours. We have a connection from Boston to Dublin and then to Milan. This is actually our first time figuring out and taking a metro together, right?
Yeah,
but
I did them in Washington, D.C., but they're not that bad.
They're not that bad, yeah.
English for now.
Yeah, so it's practice until we get to Europe. So we'll see you when we get to the market.
The metro trains in Boston were also very accessible, with the platforms and the trains being the same height. It made for getting on and off the train super easy, and fortunately we only had to take one train to get down to Faneuil Hall. Here at the Quincy Market, a historic place with an elevator. You have to hold the button until it opens. Opens us on there. Use your butt. I got this just before we left. You can see it, well, I need to adjust it a little bit, but it brings my front wheels off the ground so I don't have to worry about cracks in the sidewalk and stuff. So, and just easily attaches to the front of the chair. And then when I'm not using it, we stick it on the back and go on our way. So, see the bolt on the front end? Can you loosen that?
Can I what?
Loosen it. Like a couple good cranks. That's good. Wait.
What does it do?
It makes it twist more easily.
Okay.
I tightened it down so that it doesn't, so it would stick underneath my chair better.
Oh, okay.
I actually got the Freewheel right before I left on our trip, and I'm so glad I did. Even though the initial setup was a little bit difficult, it was definitely worth it. Having the Freewheel on this trip truly allowed me to relax and focus on the things that I wanted to see, instead of constantly being worried about hitting cracks in sidewalks or the possibility of falling out of my wheelchair. I'll be doing a full video review of the Freewheel, so if you haven't subscribed yet, make sure you do, and keep an eye out for that video to come out soon. After doing some window shopping and thoroughly testing out the Freewheel, we headed inside Quincy Market to look at some restaurants and find lunch. I think if we ever visit Boston again, this is probably the only place I would ever need to go to eat.
chowder with the bread bowl.
Good.
It's gonna be really hot.
After lunch, we headed over to historic Faneuil Hall, also known as the Cradle of Liberty, due to the many meetings that were held there revolving around the American Revolution. So right behind me here is the printing office of Edson Gill here at Faneuil Hall, I think it's called. But anyways, they reprint copies of the Declaration of Independence, which was first read here from the balcony in what would have been 1776. But he just did a little presentation. He said that there's only 3 original copies left in the world. Obviously, one of them is the one that sits in Washington, D.C., and then there's 2 more, and one of them just got auctioned off for $800,000, he said just recently.
And he prints them here, right?
Yeah, he has I think he said he has one of the original casts, and he makes copies of the Declaration and then sells them for $17.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
So most of what I just said was correct, but let me just clear a few things up. First, the 3 surviving originals are the Boston Declaration of Independence, which was copied from the original that is in Washington, D.C. This gentleman was able to get one of those 3 originals and had the letters he uses on his printing press cast to match it. If you're ever in Boston, be sure to check him out on the first floor of Faneuil Hall. It was a great experience and he's very knowledgeable. After learning some history about the printing press and the Declaration of Independence, we headed upstairs to Faneuil Hall to the Great Hall. This is where Boston's original town meetings were kept and where some of our founding fathers got their start in politics.
I'll have to play another one.
Yeah, I know, right? So festive. We had a pretty good layover in Boston. It was a great day full of lots of history, some pretty good food, and a little bit of window shopping. And to cap it all off, some great festive music as we left the market. But it was getting late and it was time to get back to the airport. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video and we'll see you on the next adapted adventure.